And I'm sorry that I have a fan blowing in a window over here. You can probably even hear the fan. Um, and that's why like the light is fluctuating so much, is because of the fan in the window. Um, I live in Washington State, and this is the day after. Or well, okay, so I live in Western Washington, I should say, and it is the day after the heat wave, where it was 106 yesterday, which l- literally never happens. It was like the third or fourth time in recorded history that this had ever happened. They said Seattle, but I'm about 45 minutes south of Seattle. Okay, so it's been a minute. I don't really entirely know where to start. I started posting videos, and I mean, this is like going to be like included in this, to like kind of like just be able to like have like something like in my life to be able to do, like rather than just like sit around the house and like do nothing. And so sometimes also like what like I would be doing would be hanging out with someone who I thought was supposed to be like my best friend, my the person who was supposed to be there with me for the rest of my entire life. And now we're here. And instead, what I'm doing is I am working on getting a divorce. Is pretty much how this is going. 2020 has been literal shit. And I am so thankful that we are now in 2021. We've made some changes. We've made a lot of changes. I'm currently living at my dad's house, rather than in my own apartment that I was paying money for. I am um, I don't have my own transportation, so I'm saving money to buy a car. I am starting my life completely over, and I turned 30. And that kind of feeling is almost defeating. And I'm so aware that there was like no intro here, and that this is just completely like rambly. But like I said, this channel was specifically made for me to be able to have an escape and to have something. You are my video diary. I guess is like really like the only way to put it. So my video diary. I don't. My hair is still purple. I mean, like that's been consistent, so like that's kind of cool. I got a neck tattoo. I got my nose pierced. Um, it's I don't even know what to say. I made a post on Instagram, my whole 9 subscribers, and just said something about how like I was gonna make a new video, and now I'm sitting here making this video, and I don't really know what to say. If you have ever in your life felt like you were finally starting to get your shit taken care of, and then your entire world starts crashing down around you, and you don't feel like you have literally any control over any of it, you'll kind of know where I'm feeling. So I guess I will tell the story. So I got married in 2015, and that was literally one of the happiest days of my life. I'll put a picture somewhere over here of my wedding day, and that was, I loved this picture. I loved this picture for 5 years. It was considered my favorite picture in the entire world. And in one, no, you know what? No, it wasn't in one night that it all got ruined. And I can't even say that it was all him. For months of asking him, are you drinking again? Are you drinking again? Are you drinking again? And being told no. And not just being told no, but instead being told, you only feel this way because. You only feel this way because of my history. You only feel this way because of my past. You only feel this way because automatically tells me that that is all in my head, and I am making up this entire thing. And when you are told this for literally months at a row, And like when I say months in a row, I don't mean that this was like like one or two. I mean like this was like a majority of 2020. You start to literally question like, am I literally just like imagining things? Like, is this real? Like, am I literally making this up? Like, is this true that I'm making it up? And you start believing that you're making it up, and then and then is when we get to the point that we actually find out that not only were we right the entire time, but they also knew what they were doing to you. Oh God, and I sound so angry, but it's because I am. There's no way that I'm gonna say that I'm not, because I am. And it's not just like angry, but like to like the point that like any conflict that I now encounter, which like I mean like granted like isn't a lot. Like I don't really like have like a close like circle like friends like that I go and like see and like hang out with and things like that. So it's not that I like run like into like conflict off it often. But like when I do run into conflict now, is that like now I'm having to question on whether or not that I even have a right to be upset with this conflict, because I don't know that what I'm seeing is actually real. That's gaslighting. That is literally gaslighting. And someone who is supposed to be your best friend, your literal life partner, like the person you were supposed to be spending the rest of your life with. And then they do that. And then not only do they blame it on you and say that if you would have been this way, I wouldn't have been drinking. If you weren't upset with it, then I wouldn't have had to hide it. If this, if that, if whatever, or even just the fact that I had the audacity to stand up for myself and tell him that this was uncalled for and I deserve better and move out, and that this is all my fault. I don't believe that this is my fault. I, I, I I can say that I don't believe that this is my fault. However, however, I would be lying if I didn't say that that thought actually crosses my mind, and the fact that I do think that so many more things that I didn't think were my fault before, I do think are my fault now. And I think that people like hear the term gaslighting and think that it's like, and I like really like, to be completely honest, I was one of these people before. And it took me a long time to get to the term gaslighting and emotional abuse. Gaslighting, by definition, is emotional abuse. Gaslighting is emotional abuse. And it's not just lying. It's lying and making the person think that everything is, and it's lying and making the person think that they are losing their mind, to the point where they start feeling like they're losing their mind. I went to go see my psychiatrist, and I flat out told him, maybe I just don't know what it looks like when he's drunk. Maybe I just don't know, whatever. I flat out told this to my psychiatrist. And then guess what? A couple of weeks later, he gets blacked out drunk and then blows up on me, and I find out he's been drinking for months and making me think that I was making this whole thing up in my head. And it's not, I don't even know what to say. So I was one of those people before that like thought that like gaslighting, like when I heard the term, was just like something that was like seriously overused, something that like probably didn't happen to like most people and like really wasn't like all that common. And I thought it was like a little bit dramatic for people to like use that phrase. But like especially like now that like I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is what was happening to me, and how subtle that kind of manipulation can be, and how easy it is to make those excuses for that person who is abusive. I hate that I ever felt that way. I feel sick that I ever felt that way. I hate the fact that I ever thought I and now that I've like moved out, which like, man, you know what, to be honest, I mean, there's a lot of shit happening like since like I've like moved out. Um, but there's so much shit that's happened since I moved out. And fuck, man, it's so interesting how someone that you thought you knew can do so many things to you, to the point where I've literally had to file a police report. I've had to file a police report because he won't stop texting me. He won't leave me alone. He's using phrases like, you're just like every other woman. You're just like all the other women. Women just like you. And I didn't think that those phrases would ever be as terrifying as what they are. I cannot wait for the day that I can move out and he won't have my address and I can change my phone number and I don't have to, and I can, you know, where I can have someone else with a key to my house that's willing to come over and come check, because while he never touched me, it's the words. Like, the words like that just have, they just have this like serial killer vibe like that. And I hate saying that. And like, I'm not saying like I think he's like gonna like come kill me or anything, like I swear, but it has like that vibe. Like, I just said, like, I'm from the Pacific Northwest. Like, Ted Bundy and Gary Ridgway weren't that long ago. That's like a thing. I mean, man, I live like across town from like where Ted Bundy's childhood house is. I mean, I'm like about half an hour away from where Gary Ridgway lived. Gary Ridgway was just caught. He was still killing in the 90s. After I was born in 91. So here we are. And I really don't even know anymore. I feel like that every time I say something, I just sound like so dramatic and so like woe is me and so victimized and so, but like at the same time, it's like this is like actually like a thing that happened. Like, I was emotionally abused by my husband, and those words don't sound even anywhere near like a real thing. I don't even, I don't know, man. I really, really don't. So anyways, that's where I've been, my whole 9 subscribers. And yeah, I mean, that's really all that like I gotta say about it. I mean, like, I hope like someone else like happens to like stumble across this video and knows that like that it, like, you don't have to be beaten up to be in an abusive relationship. You know, that like, if he's making you rethink your reality, then that's probably not a good place for you to be. And I mean, that's really like all that I can hope for. I mean, you know, that's it.